phones, Babylons can't crack the code.
The transfer portal quarterback class for 2022 is insane. We got guys that are considered top quarterbacks in college football in the portal right now, or have entered the portal and are currently committed right now. It's not even just that, this quarterback class is unseen. Usually you don't see this many starting quarterbacks from their programs enter the portal like this. Seems like it's something that's never been seen before with this much talent at the quarterback position in the portal. This is B. Kelly, back again with another banger video. In today's video, y'all, I am going to be talking about some quarterbacks that entered the transfer portal that are currently committed to new teams since they've entered, and I'm going to be talking about their move to those schools, how they did at their old school, and give my thoughts on how they might do in their new destinations. Before I move on, remember to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, as we are on the road to 10K. Now let's get into it. The first player that I am going to be talking about in today's video is a guy who had the most expectations heading into 2021, and is someone that quite frankly was never expected to ever hit the portal during his career, and that is quarterback from Oklahoma, Spencer Rattler. Going into 2021, Spencer Rattler was expected to be a Heisman winner. He was the Heisman frontrunner and be potentially a #1 pick in the 2022 NFL Draft. He was coming off a strong 2020 season where he completed almost 68% of his passes, threw for over 3,000 yards, 28 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. To keep a long story short, Rattler's 2021 campaign did not go his way at all. He did not meet any of his expectations, and although I thought he was overhated, and I thought he was still a decent quarterback while he was playing, I mean, he was winning games, and he wasn't necessarily playing bad, especially with an O-line that seemed pretty shoddy at times. But all in all, he did end up getting benched, and he did end up losing his job to true freshman quarterback Caleb Williams in the Texas game. Rattler would end up finishing the season with 75% of his passes completed, throwing for 1,483 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. He would enter the transfer portal after Lincoln Riley left, and before the Sooners would play in the Alamo Bowl, and he has since then announced he will be playing for South Carolina. This is a move that I can say confidently that not many people thought he would actually go to South Carolina until literally the hours leading up to his commitment to South Carolina. There was smoke that he was going to be going to the Pac-12, to Arizona State or UCLA, and once Jaden Daniels announced he was staying at Arizona State, it seemed like he was going to go to UCLA, but that was not the case at all, as he's taking his talents to the SEC and going to South Carolina, along with his tight end from Oklahoma, Austin Sogner. It is also worth noting that the head coach of South Carolina was on staff at Oklahoma while Spencer Rattler was there. Now, all in all, I actually really like this move. I think he's going to be acquainted well with Beamer since he's already been with him, and he's been with Austin Stogner already as well, so he's not going to be completely unfamiliar with the system that he might have. Not only that, I like this move for South Carolina, and here's why. South Carolina, I'm not going to lie, I did not think they were going to be this good this season. Are they a great team by any means? No. They are 6-6, but this was a team that nobody expected to go to a bowl game, and now they're going to have their best quarterback in their program in a long time. This will be a real test for Spencer Rattler, as people see the SEC as the best conference in college football. But it's worth noting, if he plays good at South Carolina, and he's playing what people say is the best conference in college football, he's going to have all eyes on him, his draft stock's going to increase, and he's going to be an early round guy. I don't think Spencer Rattler is going to lead South Carolina to an SEC championship game, but he should improve South Carolina quite a bit from this season to the next. On to the next quarterback, we have Dillon Gabriel, who is Central Florida's former quarterback, now UCLA quarterback. He was a great quarterback at Central Florida. He put up some great numbers, and he won a lot. As in his 3 seasons there, he completed 61% of his passes, threw for over 8,000 yards, 70 touchdowns, and 14 interceptions. He had a great freshman season in 19, a great sophomore campaign in 2020, and 2021 was supposed to be an even bigger year and his best one by far, but unfortunately it was cut short due to injuries as he only played in 3 games this season, completing 69% of his passes. He threw for 818 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Gabriel would end up entering the portal near the end of the season for Central Florida, and when he entered the portal, it seemed like he was having a lot of smoke to Ole Miss because of Jeff Lebby. But once Jeff Lebby took the job at OU to be the offensive coordinator, the smoke seemingly went away, and he would end up transferring to UCLA. In my opinion, I think this is a great move for Dillon Gabriel. I think Dillon Gabriel can be an immediate impact player for UCLA, and I think he can really ball out in their system, and he has a lot of great weapons around him, and I think he can utilize all the weapons around him and make UCLA one of the best Pac-12 teams, and potentially even a team that could reach the Pac-12 championship game. It's unknown if Dorian Thompson-Robinson is going to be coming back for a 5th year of eligibility at UCLA, transferring or even declaring for the 2022 NFL Draft. But if he does end up coming back, I could easily see there being a quarterback battle with him and Gabriel. But if they did end up having a quarterback battle, my money would be on Dillon Gabriel. Next up, we have one of the highest rated recruits all time, especially for the quarterback position, and the number 1 ranked quarterback according to 24/7 Sports that hit the transfer portal in Quinn Ewers from Ohio State. In his one lone season at Ohio State as a freshman in this past 2021 college football season, Quinn hardly played at all. He was supposed to be a high school senior, but he reclassified, and he would actually end up being an Ohio State Buckeye and joining their 2021 recruiting class, making him the number 1 quarterback that class over Caleb Williams. The thing was, he barely ever played. It was really rare for him to play as he got there very late. He got there literally about 2 weeks before the season started, which is way too late to be in a battle with anybody, and honestly, really late to learn the playbook. He would end up entering the portal during the season, and this could be because, well, CJ Stroud has that job on lockdown for 2022. The guy's literally a Heisman finalist. He's not going to be losing that job heading in, and Quinn Ewers wants to be a starting quarterback heading in. Since then, he has transferred to Texas, a team he used to be committed to as a recruit before decommitting and flipping to Ohio State. Overall, I really like this move, and I think he's going to be the for sure starting quarterback for Texas in 2022. And here's why. Casey Thompson already in the portal since they got Quinn, and he is not coming back. There is a 0% chance. Hudson Card, he might enter the portal, he might not. He might have a quarterback battle with Quinn Ewers heading in, but in my opinion, I think the Texas Boosters are going to have some leeway in that quarterback battle. And I think Quinn Ewers is going to come out on top with his skill and knowing that the Texas Boosters are going to want him as their starting quarterback. Also knowing the fact that Quinn Ewers wants to play immediately. And what's Texas going to do? And what is Texas going to do to get a quarterback like Quinn Ewers? They're going to promise him playing immediately. Next up, we have USC quarterback Kedon Slovis, who ended up transferring to Pitt. Now, Kedon Slovis was not a horrible quarterback at USC while he was there. He had his high moments like 2019 where he threw for 3,502 yards, 30 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions while completing 72% of his passes. And in 2020, he was a solid quarterback as he threw for 17 touchdowns, 7 interceptions while throwing for almost 2,000 yards in 6 games played. He was expected to have a big 2021 season, but he would end up struggling a little bit as well as the USC team and getting banged up, which ultimately led him to kind of splitting time with Jackson Dart throughout the season, not exactly losing his job full time like Spencer Rattler did with Caleb Williams, but he definitely wasn't exactly quarterback 1 as well. For 2021, he ended up playing in 9 games, where he completed 65% of his passes, threw for 2,153 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. He is now going to be a Pitt Panther and take his talents to the ACC. Overall, I think this is a very safe move, and I do support it. I do not know if he's going to necessarily be the best quarterback ever or have a season like Kenny Pickett had, even though the season that Kenny Pickett had this year definitely might have influenced that, and the fact that Kedon Slovis isn't exactly going to have the most competition, so he could easily just go in and be the starting quarterback right away. The last quarterback I am going to be talking about in this video is quarterback from Auburn, now Oregon Ducks quarterback Bo Nix. The best way to describe Bo Nix and his time at Auburn is to say the word inconsistent, as Bo Nix had his really good moments at Auburn where he seemed like the quarterback that they expected him to be, but he also had his moments where he was honestly the reason why they lost some games. But Bo Nix is not the worst quarterback out there. Bo Nix is still a solid quarterback, and he was a 3-year starter at the SEC level for Auburn, even though he did end up getting injured during 2021, limiting him to 10 games played. In his career at Auburn, he completed 59% of his passes, threw for 7,251 yards, 39 touchdowns thrown, 16 interceptions, and 18 total touchdowns on the ground. This move by Bo Nix to enter the portal and end up transferring to Oregon honestly was kind of a shocker, as people thought Bo Nix was going to be the starting quarterback for Auburn in 2022 for his senior season. But he wanted a new start, he wanted something new, and he wanted to show people that he is a different quarterback, and he just wanted to take a bet on himself, so he entered the portal and he would end up transferring to Oregon. All in all, I like this move for Bo Nix actually. This is Bo Nix, who is going to have a good shot at being the starting quarterback for Oregon going into 2022. He might have a quarterback battle a little bit, but I do believe he will be the starting quarterback. And I think this is a great shot for him to rebrand himself and just get a brand new, fresh start to start clean. He is coming off what I think is his best season. Some may disagree and say his freshman season is his best season. Honestly, I thought this current 21 season, his junior campaign, is actually his best season, as I thought he was the most consistent he was yet in his career. I mean, in 10 games played, he completed 61% of his passes, threw for 2,294 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions, while also having 4 touchdowns on the ground. The biggest reason why I actually like this move for Bo Nix to go to Oregon, and I might have some Pac-12 fans in the comments getting mad at me, but I think this is actually a great move for him because, well, I don't think the Pac-12 is the toughest conference, and I don't think the Pac-12 has been its best as of late these past few seasons. And Bo Nix is coming from the tougher side of the SEC. He plays some of the best teams year in and year out that constantly cause him a lot of pain, especially in his play. Now he's going to be getting a fresh start in an easier conference on one of the better teams in the Pac-12, and I think all in all, he is going to be a lot better of a quarterback on a consistent basis. Well, guys, if you made it this far in the video, comment something down below. Who do you think is going to be the best quarterback in this video? And if you want a part 2 to this video, as there's a lot more quarterbacks that I could talk about, but I did not talk about them in today's video, as it would make this video way too long. And before you head out, remember to smash that like button, turn on those post notifications, and subscribe if you haven't already. Be Kelly out.